Trent, no late changes. Everybody's good to go.
Yep. Yeah, everyone's good to go. Obviously, last little sort of touch up today, but yeah, ready to go. We've been sort of pretty clear on coming out of last week and into this week. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
Why do you win tomorrow night?
We're confident in our ability. We know our game at the moment. Feel like we've got into a really good spot about what we really value. And it's taken a while there. I feel really confident in the things that they really care about, the energy that they get from their defence, the connection that they have with each other, and I feel like we've got into a good spot with the team that we've got as well.
The confidence of youth. On Tuesday, Sam Walker said, "I'm not content with my level of football at the moment, and I need to go to another level." Are you happy with his combination with Hugo so far since Sam's been back?
Yeah, I think they've developed really quickly. They've had lots of conversations, but I like the attitude of that. I think that's what you want out of a footy team. I don't think at any point or any week this year we've stopped and said, okay, we want to hold on to this. There's been that continual search for what more can we get out of each other, and that will continue, and that continual search for your best is never ending. So I think Sam can be really confident in the way that he's playing and his combination with Hugo, but then you want players to continually think that their best is the next game, and the continual search for that. So that's the attitude that we want. I think that's also a reflection of the attitude of the team. We've been improving each month, and we want to improve tomorrow night. That's the focus.
Speaking of improvement, that Sharks game, a lot of talk about turning points this season. Penrith have often referred to the Newcastle game. It feels like the 2 months since then has been a real step in the right direction. Does that game feel like a turning point for this team?
Yeah, that was a tough game. There was obviously some changes there. I don't think Hugo played, but we felt like we were well beaten on that night. It wasn't only that. There was some things that we were working towards, getting some players back in, but it also helped. Some games give you clarity on what you want to get out of the next game, and also going forward, and that helped with that. And I think we've improved since then, and the ultimate will be going back there tomorrow night and proving that.
I don't think you're happy with the middle defence at the start of that game, but from then I think you've made changes. Benaya starting, Spencer coming in as well. How important has that middle been to sort of get those back on track?
Yeah, it's funny. I think I've talked about it a little bit this year, just around us developing as a team, and I feel like we've done it quite simply. There has been changes in the way that we've started the team or the combinations, but circling around sort of 22, 23 players that we've had there, and finding the right balance for that. But then also there was some things that we were working on really well. We finished the Origin period. We had to get guys recovered because we'd had all our buys during the Origin period, and then it was about getting that group together and playing our best footy. And so, yeah, we have had to improve some things from about 6 weeks ago, and I feel like the last 6 weeks since the end of Origin and that game, we've nailed some things, and it's set a platform for tomorrow night. It's not the ultimate, as Sam said, it has set a platform for what we want to do.
The top four narrative and no team winning from outside of the NRL era, I know we make a lot of it. Is it a driving factor for the Roosters? Like, remember in 2019 people said people couldn't go back to back, and you proved them wrong. Is that something that's spoken about at all?
No, it's not spoken about, because I've stood here each week and really just focused on the next game. We're going to make sure we win tomorrow night, and then the belief in what we can do will continue to grow. My job with a few others is to make sure the energy's right so that we can do that. We're in a good spot when it comes to that, and it will happen at some point. Our job's to win Saturday night and keep that belief alive in what can happen.
Trent, Marty mentioned the middle third of the field.
Yep.
I know it's never about one guy, but Blake Brayley's playing some outstanding footy for the Sharks. But what makes him so dangerous in your eyes, do you reckon?
Yeah, obviously they've, the ruck speed that they've been able to create and the subtleties that he plays with is one of the best hookers in the game. I think he's proven that this year. We need to make sure that we're on our game when it comes to his dummy half play. And he's been one of the reasons that they've really sort of stepped forward again this year. So, it's a key target for us there as well.
How exciting is it to be in this position, Trent? Like, there's been so much made about the turnover in the pre-season. You've been bullish about what this team, this group could achieve the whole way through. But now that you are here, like, do you take a moment and go, "Geez, it's exciting. We've been able to put ourselves in this position"?
No, there's no sort of reflection on I know at different times I do talk about the psychology of the way that you look at it. We didn't walk into this week giddy. We walked into this week focused on Sharks on Saturday night. That's the simplicity of that mindset really helps. If you ever focus on something and that's all you focus on, then you head towards that. If you get distracted by other things or, we're not nostalgic. We're pretty clear on what we need to do to play on Saturday night. People want to talk about finals. All we want to do is talk about tomorrow night. That's all that counts. So none of that's come up at all for us. It's just being task-driven. It's, I've gone through final series where you do get sometimes thinking about what happens week 1 and week 3 and all of that. That hasn't been the case for us at all. It's just been training session, next training session, Saturday night.
You started the year 1-5. Did you ever doubt at all that you'd be here?
No.
What gave you the faith that you would make it?
Don't know. Just it wasn't. I don't know. It was just. There was just the belief in the players that we had and what we could get to. It wasn't. It was just an expectation on ourselves, not on results, but on what we could do. And so, no, it wasn't. It was never a thought of not heading towards where we are today.
And has that belief come from the playing group, or have you had to instill that in them?
I don't think it's. I think it's just when you walk through those doors. There's an expectation but that expectation was probably less outside. We got told that we weren't going to be able to do something this year, and we didn't use that. That wasn't there, but we wanted to get the best out of ourselves, and so everybody kept walking through those doors, working towards how do we get better, how do we get better, how do we get better, and eventually we got into a position where we could prove that. So, it's hard to. There's not a pinpointing. There's not a stage. It's just. It's a continual thought as soon as you walk through that what our expectation was of ourselves.
And just back briefly on Blake Brayley, talking to Connor earlier in the week again, just like Sam, but he was sort of brave enough to say, he said, look, my pecking order and my top ranked players is Tedesco, Grant, Brayley.
Right.
That's the best players in the comp. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I'm not sure about. I'm not making lists there. I just know the importance. He's been outstanding this year. Exceptional player. I feel like he's led the way for that team, for them. They've had lots of really good players, but he's been the one constant there for them, and it's a credit to him and the way that he's played the game.
We've seen that. Sorry, just one on Mark on the wing. We've seen the freakish things that he can do. How important is X factor in finals, and how important could he be in a moment tomorrow?
It's consistency of team performance. Running a system, and then the ability to express yourself on the back of it. That comes out in moments. I think we see that. We see lots of people that have moments, but that can't do the consistent work of a team. Of what the 13 guys need to do. And I think the 8 teams that are in there, they've got a team system that they've got to play, and everyone adhere to that. That's why they're there. And then on the back of that, you need performances from individuals. And that's basically the formula.
Robbo,
You know.
it feels like you're keeping it pretty simple, but what's been the messaging for the boys who, like, this is their first final series? Hugo, Rob?
Yeah, it's not. Rob obviously got the experience of some big games earlier in the year. Hugo had just good discussions just around that. Everybody, it's not a different game. It's the ability to play a really high quality game, with some, the result at the end is pretty important, obviously, but it's 68 by 100, it's 13 by 13, 13 v 13, so it's not, it's the ability to hold your cool and play that system that I talked about and open your eyes to moments. And so that's, it's not a new formula as soon as it comes to these games. It's about holding your cool and being really simply focused on team game and then your attributes. If you can do that, then you're going to nail these games.
You know these boys well. Are these boys good at keeping their cool?
I feel like we've had really good practice on the 1 week at a time over the last 6 weeks. We've been, we've had one stumble, I feel like, in that period, but we've played some pretty critical, you're in or you're out sort of games, and we've been able to nail that mindset. And so I'll tell you on Saturday night about 9:30.
You're on that trip down to Shark Park, a little fortress for them. Is there a need for a bit of discipline and keeping emotions in check in that kind of atmosphere?
I think, the ultimate, we haven't talked about the external part. I mean, I think we got asked those questions last week. I think that was the test for that. And I felt like that game was played in a really good spirit. We're going down there with a pretty clear goal and how we want to play. It's a physical contact sport. Emotions do play a part, but the ultimate goal for us is to play our best footy, and the result will happen there.
I know you're looking just one game ahead, so I don't know if you're looking 2 years back, but how much does the 2023 game...
That's a good one,
How much do you fall back on that? Because it's weird. Penrith and Warriors play that day, and you played the Sharks. It's happening again. It's the same Saturday. But do you lean back on that game in that elimination final? Do you tell the guys, look, we lost the two Joeys, Billy Smith got injured, Teddy got simmed in, and we still found a way? Is that something you can lean on? It's like, if things do go wrong, just...
That was all we did this week, was just watch that game over and over again. That was a wild game, actually, in all that happened. Obviously, I don't know how many of our guys even played in that game. No, it's not. I mean, all of that stuff, subconsciously, all of that plays a part. Any guys that played in that game and understanding that we've gone there for finals, but you create your future, and that's pretty simple. You rely on some memory from the past if you've got it, but yeah, just recreating it for Saturday night's pretty key.
Trent, Brooke mentioned some of the guys playing their first final series.
Yeah.
How valuable is it having someone like James Tedesco out in the field in that context, particularly given...
Not really.
Not at all?
No.
Not valuable. That's the headline.
That's I mean, Teddy's... I really enjoy the mix of the both. I mean, Teddy, I believe, is the best player in the game, and it's been amazing to have him play this year and lead the guys. But then Teddy will talk about having the value of the inexperience and the freshness and the energy that those guys bring as well. You've got guys that are 15 games into their career now, this is their first finals game, and that gives older guys energy as well. There's an assist and a protect sort of attitude that goes with that. I want to help them along, but there's also, when they take on moments in their first finals, it gives those senior guys energy. So I think the balance is really key in teams, and I really like the fact that we've got both ends.
You mentioned best player in the world. Do you think he's playing as well as he did in 2019 when he got the Dalian medal?
Yeah, I think, Teddy's... It's really hard. I think people are saying he's playing the best. He's played, so well for so long. I just think he's physically in great shape. He's mentally really clear, and he's leading as good as anybody as a captain. So, I'm looking forward to him leading us tomorrow.
Just back on Mark.
Yep.
Joe Schmidt joked to us yesterday in a Wallabies press conference that he hasn't called you yet about a prospect of yet another code switch. Mark, though, strikes me as pretty measured when he answers those sort of questions. Are you happy with the way he's sort of compartmentalising that white noise from the media?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's interest because we're playing at the moment. He's playing really well, and obviously the tests that are happening at the moment, but you don't have those conversations. You know, he's got a year to run on his contract. You don't touch. There's not much use having those conversations until the end of the season. You know, so they won't happen. No one's having them because all that matters is tomorrow night. When the season finishes and we get into October and November, we'll have those conversations, and then when we don't have press conferences, you can not ask those questions, you know. But that's simply, people are looking for an answer now because it's topical, but those conversations are not being had. I don't care, you know, I really don't care at the moment, and I will in October because I want him to be here long term. Okay,
Thanks, Trent.
thank you.